Gotcha.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Monster Hunter World video. This is Thegameconomist, and today we're going to be talking about 6 more problems with Kulve Taroth. That's right, I made one of these videos already, but another week of grinding Kulve has gone by, and I have even more things to vent about. I figure some of you guys are venting as well, and that's why I made this video, so that we can vent together like salty gamers. You know, in a lot of ways, I found Kulve Taroth very fun, especially when she first came out, and one of the interesting things about Kulve Taroth is how many mechanics are involved with her as a monster. There's so much to learn about her. But once you've figured it all out, and you just get into a good grind, and you unlock all of her weapons, there isn't a lot of motivation to fight her anymore, is there? I mean, there's no like streamstones you can unlock. You can't unlock higher level decorations, so you're mostly just in it for the rarity 8 and the rarity 7 weapons that she has in her RNG loot pool. So what happens when you're all out of rarity 8 weapons to farm? You quit farming her. And then suddenly you learn that Capcom is adding 14 more rarity 8 weapons, which is what they did this particular week. And suddenly you realize you are going to be whipped into grinding Kulve Taroth once more. It's kind of like a nightmare, but exciting at the same time, because you might get one of the new weapons, right? But here's the problem. There were already 56 rarity 8 weapons in Kulve Taroth's loot pool. So when you add 14 more rarity 8 weapons to her loot pool, it jumps all the way up to 70. That's crazy, okay? That means you have 1 in 70 chances that the weapon you appraise will turn into the weapon that you were hoping for. And I'm kind of assuming that their RNG has kind of a progressive programming behind it so that you're not just infinitely stuck never getting the weapon you want. But even if they do, it's very stingy. I mean, I probably grind more than the average player, and it's taking me an incredibly long time to unlock all of the weapons. So issue number 1, her loot table is too large. I strongly believe that Kulve Taroth should have received a new game mode, and the 14 weapons should have been craftable, which is one of the things I love most about Monster Hunter World, is being able to craft the weapons that I want. Alright, problem number 2. Sublimated Relics can turn into rarity 7 weapons. What? Can you imagine fighting Kulve Taroth for like 30 minutes, you know, probably 2 matches against her, finally finishing, finally breaking her horns, just to find out the sublimated weapons? And I had this happen, by the way. You get 3 of them, right? That's about as much as you can get. I think you can get 4 technically, but you get 3 sublimated weapons, and you appraise them, and then you get no rarity 8 weapons. They all turn into rarity 7. In fact, I read somewhere that they can even turn into rarity 6 weapons. Now, I didn't check for that myself, but I completely believe it. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me, but just the fact that they turn into rarity 7 weapons is frustrating. They had this problem already in another game called Destiny. You would get all these golden and purple engrams, and you'd get all excited that they're going to turn into great weapons. And back when Destiny 1 came out, you had a good chance that it would actually go down a level. The engram you were decrypting would go from exotic to legendary, or legendary to just rare. It was insanely frustrating. So frustrating that they finally removed it from the game. And then eventually they made another change where the RNG wouldn't constantly give you duplicates. So it's a little frustrating when you get over here to Monster Hunter World and they're making pretty much the same mistakes. You know, it's not really a good thing when you're being compared to the mistakes Destiny has made, right? You don't want that for your game, in my opinion. Maybe some of you are really big Destiny fans. So that is problem number 2. Sublimated Relics can turn into rarity 7 weapons. Problem number 3 is also very frustrating. It's an issue where you will have people who are skilled enough, or they get into good enough groups now, that they're finishing Kulve Taroth from pursuit level 1 or 2, 3, you know, most people I think can finish it from 3, but you'll also run into this problem where if you're playing solo like I do, you'll get randoms who really aren't skilled enough to finish it at pursuit level 3, so you know, she'll escape in stage 4, and you're thinking, well, I'll have another chance to go against her, but it's too late. Her horns have been broken, and you didn't happen to have a high enough reward level, so you're not going to get any of the rewards, even if you played for the last like 20 minutes against her. You know, 20 whole minutes of fighting Kulve Taroth, no reward level 14, right? It's very frustrating, especially in the other cases I mentioned, where some group defeated her from pursuit level 1 or pursuit level 2. You know, for me, since I play solo, I usually defeat her in 2 runs. The first run, I'll bring her up to pursuit 3 or 4. The second run, I'll just, I'll defeat her. A lot of the times too, I'll just play solo from pursuit level 3 or 4 to ensure that I can beat her. But yeah, you'll run into this issue where you're just setting her up for the next run, and then you come back and it's over. And it's just like, what happened? It feels unnecessary, doesn't it? Does the game really need to be designed where it feels like you're actually trying to compete with the other teams in order to break your horns before somebody else does and ends the siege, right? I don't feel like that's such a great idea. I thought the whole idea was 16 guys working together and we all kind of benefit from each other's hard work. That's how I thought it's supposed to be playing out. But just because of the way it's designed, I would call that poor design. If another team can play exceptionally well, and instead of rewarding everybody, it actually punishes everybody, that's a flaw, and I would hope that they would change that, but I don't know, I doubt that they will. So problem number 3, groups are defeating Kulve Taroth early, and it punishes you. Problem number 4 is not a complicated one. I feel like a lot of you guys will understand what I'm talking about when I say this. The matchmaking for Kulve Taroth is horrendous. I cannot believe, we've come so far along in multiplayer games and online games. It's 2018, right? The internet's been around for a while. And we have a system on Monster Hunter World. Well, it's very similar to like their quest board. It's very similar to their other multiplayer. But we have this situation where you're given a list, and you don't even know which of those lists have already filled up. That's what I'm assuming is happening. If it's either a NAT problem or they're filling up, because you'll click on somebody who you want to join, and you'll just be sitting there stuck. You can't even cancel, right? Like you can tell that the game's rejecting you from joining the other group. You're trying to join them, and you're just stuck there looking at the screen, waiting for it to tell you, error, error, couldn't add you to the other group. So you sit there for like a whole minute. And this is 2018 and we're having this problem. Come on. That's just very, very poor design. I don't know what else to call that. And, I can't be too upset about it. I still enjoy the game a lot. It's more of a quality of life issue, but it's actually a big issue, And it kind of leads us into the next problem. Issue number 5. You'll have players in the session, in the lobby, right? And they're not playing Kulve Taroth. Like, why? Well, it happens naturally. Let me explain. So you'll get into a group, you'll get into a session, and people will get the weapon that they want from Kulve Taroth, very exciting, good for them. What do? Instead of just going into the next grind against Kulve Taroth, they test the weapon out. They go to the workshop and try to put a build together, right? They start messing around, they start tinkering with that weapon. And there's other issues where some people just AFK, right? Like maybe it's dinner time and they think I'll just sit in the lobby and when I come back maybe I'll have Kulve Taroth rewards, right? Very, very frustrating. And that's a big deal because you can only have 15 people in a session. Well, if you've got like 5 AFK people, which in my opinion you almost always have at least 5 people AFK, and that means you really only have about 12 people running against Kulve Taroth, and it's just like, man, it's not very efficient, right? Basically what I wish they would do, similar to in a live game, I wish the game would just detect when somebody's gone AFK. Just go ahead and boot them sooner, like don't wait 20 minutes to go, okay, we're disconnecting you from the online because you're clearly AFK. Do it sooner. And then for everyone else, if you're done fighting Kulve Taroth and you're listening to me talk right now, just move on to another lobby, you're taking up a spot. Hop out of there, go play an investigation. There's nothing wrong with that. Just come back when you're ready to fight Kulve again. Be courteous about it. Some people really do want to just get that good Kulve Taroth grind going. Finally, we have problem number 6. Eventually, nobody will be left to fight Kulve Taroth. In fact, we were already kind of running into this problem, and that was before they added the new Rarity 8 weapons. And I feel like that was kind of their trick up their sleeve. They said, we'll hold back some of the weapons or we'll finish designing them and release them later, and that's going to keep people playing Kulve Taroth. And maybe they'll do that again. I don't know. I sincerely hope they don't. That would be, can you imagine if they added 14 more Rarity 8 weapons so that it was 84, and you've already got like 70 of the Rarity 8 weapons? Personally, I think I would give up at that point. I might play her once or twice, but I'm not really going to care about the new ones. So yeah, you have this issue where people are eventually going to be sick and tired of Kulve Taroth, and I was already seeing this on the Xbox. I'm sure the Xbox has a smaller population than like the PlayStation, but I was already seeing this. Kulve Taroth was back last time before now. There was barely anyone playing her. People are tired of Kulve Taroth. They've already got all the weapons they want, and it's just the new people playing against Kulve Taroth, and they're not even that good at it, right? All the skilled players have moved on. So you're going to have that issue again, and I think that kind of speaks to one of the main problems about Kulve Taroth, this forced multiplayer, this forced sessions to try and give a true multiplayer feeling to the event, but it's more like just a simple pursuit mechanic and not even a very well designed one. Like I just talked about how you can even be punished rather than rewarded by being paired up with people who know what they're doing, right? You don't want that. And the artificial padding of the longevity of grinding Kulve Taroth, of adding 14 new weapons to the loot pool, I just can't really agree with it, you know. Like, as much as I've been loving Monster Hunter World and I'm still having a lot of fun with that, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. It's just, I wish they had given us something more. I would have been happy waiting for something a little more substantial. I think I spoke about earlier how I would have liked Kulve Taroth to be a real Elder Dragon fight, similar to like what we have right now with the Behemoth. I would have loved that if they could have just allowed us to fight her with her horns already broken, except now she's really OP and powerful and you actually have to kill her. And maybe in the future they still will do that. I hope they do, because she's already in the game, so it would make a lot of sense. It would be very efficient for them to do that. Alright, well those are 6 more problems with Kulve Taroth. I didn't even mention that you have to go back down to the tradeyard to empty out your garden, right? I would love if they had a garden up in the gathering hub so you could just do it up there, but yeah, you have to load the whole game down. I guess that would be 7, right? But I'm not going to change the title and everything just to add 7 to it. 6 problems with Kulve Taroth. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know about other problems you saw in the Kulve Taroth event, and let me know what you loved about the Kulve Taroth event. Don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun with her. I'm just getting a little tired. Alright, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.